Da-da-da-da-da-da. Happy birthday to Quigley Coffee. Happy birthday to us. I can't tell if I'm completely exhausted and like numb to the fact that we turned 5 years old today, or if I'm like, oh my gosh, we actually made it to 5 years. Because in every like business book and podcast you hear, it's usually like businesses don't make it to year 5. I know why, because it's freaking hard. But I've been reflecting today on like the journey of 5 years to get to where we are today. And I just wanted to take a second for me to document like what all happened in 5 years. And we started our coffee company right after COVID. COVID happened and baristas were somehow considered essential. We decided to take the leap and start a coffee company. My husband had always wanted to be in coffee, didn't make enough money managing coffee shops, and figured if he could make at least the same amount that he was making as a manager, which was living on tips by doing our own coffee cart events, that it would be worth the risk. And so I Googled, how do you get $30,000? Because we landed on starting a coffee cart, and that's about the cost of them if you get like, you know, the right equipment that's commercial that can actually service the amount of people we wanted to do. And I didn't realize that in my search on Google that I had actually like applied for a loan. So literally the next day, I naively woke up, saw $30,000 in my bank account and realized I had a new monthly payment at 25% interest and just kind of freaked out, and then elbowed Quigley and was like, I guess we're starting a business. And so we LLC'd on May 11th, 2021. And then we did our first coffee event and opened up in August. In just a few weeks, we launched, and never could we have imagined that we would literally launch our own coffee cart in 90 days, expand to 3 coffee carts in 1 year, service over 500 events across the country, and run 2 different brick and mortars that are different sizes, and learn all that we've learned, go down the path of becoming franchisors, and find ourselves here documenting this on YouTube because we are young and dumb and having fun and falling forward. And so honestly, I'm really proud of us, and equally kind of like, I can't believe you guys did this. This is crazy. Like, it's been so crazy. Year 1, we started in a 500 square foot thrift store, like pushing a coffee cart. We decorated it, we started hosting open mic nights, and then we would move the coffee cart out of the way to go do catering events. And so we would make like maybe $100 a day, and then we would do these catering events, and obviously you make a lot more in catering events than you do with the overhead expenses of brick and mortars. And we would do weddings and lots of church events, and then we needed more carts. And we needed more money, so we had to borrow from friends at crazy high interest and pay them back in an appropriate amount of time, which was only possible with God's intervention and grace. Then year 2, we're learning how to operate a catering company that just does mobile events, and then the small cafe. And then that cafe ends up closing because we basically had to decide if we were gonna stay there, like the little thrift store where we parked the cart and were there during the day. If we were gonna stay there, we'd have to build out like a full kitchen, which the cost of a build out is the same no matter where you do it. So at that point, we knew that we didn't want to do it in that location. And if we had to build out and we had to pay for it, we were going to figure out how to do it in a better location. And so we ended up moving, and I thought that a build out and moving, you know, a simple coffee shop would take probably 6 months or so. It ended up taking 14 months. So we didn't have a cafe. In year 3, we were building out a large restaurant and only doing catering events. At this point, we started having 2 coffee carts that travel all across America, and we had 3 coffee carts all of Florida that was traveling everywhere, and we were learning all the systems that we didn't know, and we were absolutely faking it till we made it, all while selling our house and personally guaranteeing everything so that we could build out this restaurant. And it was absolutely chaotic. We needed consistent revenue because we were taking out an SBA loan, and SBA was monitoring our like monthly revenue to make sure that we were going to be able to make our payments. But we had lost the thrift store location, so we didn't have like regular revenue. We only had what was coming in through catering events, which is really, really good money, but it's not necessarily consistent. You know, every Friday, it's like you could have a $5,000 event one day and you could have a $900 event one day. And as the money comes, you have it. But then we decided to launch bottled lattes, and we started illegally making lattes in our kitchen and selling them and doing deliveries every Friday all over Florida. And the first time we did it, we sold out. And I just remember crying, thinking like, oh my gosh, we just made, you know, like it was like $860 in a Thursday from bottled lattes that we now had to make in large batches in our kitchen to deliver. And this was before AI. And so Quigley had to like literally map out all of the delivery routes and it was chaos. And then year 4, we finally opened up the large restaurant, and we learned so much about having 2 different business models, one that's just catering and mobile espresso bars, and one that's cafe. And the cafe has been our dream come true. We've had so much fun doing it. We've also learned how expensive it is. Paying regular taxes, quarterly, and for us, we do it monthly because we almost made a detrimental mistake that would have bankrupted us. Those are things you learn the hard way. And we've cried a lot over taxes. We've cried a lot over expenses and how do you get your payroll numbers in the right margin and all this stuff. And then year 4, we had to figure out like, okay, we want to expand this company. We love the you need vision and trial and error of business ownership. So how are we going to do this? And there's lots of ways we could grow. We could do more corporate stores, but it's so expensive and we have to personally guarantee everything. And how much more do we really want to do that? Or do we just go mobile carts? Or do we try to franchise and work with owners? And through lots of conversations and talking with our business partners who handle all of the marketing and graphics and everything, they're incredible. We landed on franchising, and then we're like, okay, we're going to franchise the restaurant and the carts. And then we're like, we absolutely have to not franchise the cafe because it's so expensive. And if you even look at the popular models right now, it's May of 2026, and the franchise models for cafes are the drive-through. Elianos is one of them, or Dutch Brothers, where there's not a seated cafe area. You just kind of pay for this standalone micro cafe because that's really the only way that you can afford a cafe, is if it's just drive-through and there's no square footage for seating, which I totally understand now after having had the 1,700 square foot cafe that we have now. And then year 5, we're in our first year of franchising coffee carts, and we've launched 2 coffee carts, both of them in under 90 days, one in Orlando and one in Jacksonville. I am so proud of what we've done so far. And I'm also trying to not be discouraged that it's not happening faster, but even just taking today on our 5th birthday and reflecting on what the last 5 years have looked like, it's just been a whirlwind. It's been an absolute whirlwind, and I'm so grateful that I have Jesus and the Bible to cling on to in the moments where I'm so unsure, and that I get to do this with Quigley, and that we even just have the freedom to dream about how to grow coffee carts, and that it allows us to raise our kids. Look how cute this sweater is. My friend embroidered my boys by hand. It's my favorite gift I've ever gotten. But just the fact that we get to raise our kids and be our own bosses, and somehow all of our bills are always paid and some. It's been an incredible 5 years, and I cannot wait for the next 10. I just turned 30, so I feel a little bit like I can, I'm kind of trying to get vision, what does it look like by the age of 40? And who knows, one day I'm gonna look back at this video and say, do you remember when year 1 when we had 2 coffee carts? And my goal is, by the way, if you're interested in starting a coffee cart, or anybody who's starting a coffee cart, I really wanna have a 3rd franchisee this year, so we can nail down all of these systems and capture the data that's been so helpful. Our one franchisee just last weekend made $2,000 at 2 different events that she did in Jacksonville. Just seeing that and seeing her light up, oh my gosh, that's real money. It's yeah. Part of me still can't believe oh my gosh, it's actually working. And if you're just tuning in, I decided to document this YouTube channel, this YouTube journey, because my husband and I started a business 5 years ago, and I want to remember the huge wins and also the huge pains of all of this. I love talking with other entrepreneurs about the things that they're experiencing. And so if you are thinking about starting your own business and you feel like you have it in you to do it, I just want to cheer you on and say, you can do this. Get around people who know a lot more than you and ask them a million questions, and be humble and just say yes when God opens the door, and do it afraid. Even if you're afraid, just do it afraid, but do it full of faith. And I have just been so blessed by getting to do this. What an awesome 5 years, and a huge happy birthday, Quigley Coffee. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps this channel. I'm a new YouTube baby with a small business that is going to grow. And if you subscribe, you're gonna get to watch it happen in real time.